I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Listen to me.
Life finds a way.
And hello. Welcome to Out of Orbit, a science fiction podcast for all fans of all varieties. My name's Io.
My name is Jinx.
And my name's Toviyah.
And we will be your hosts. So if we all want to introduce ourselves, I'll start off. My name's Io, as in Io, the two letters. I am 18, I'm from England, and my first Star Trek series was the original series when I was about 16, watched it on Netflix, really liked it, just kind of went from there. But other than Star Trek, I really like Red Dwarf. I've been watching that for many years. I like Quantum Leap, I like all sorts of things. And I have to pick a favourite film, I would say Flash Gordon, which I've probably seen about, 10 times? Some stupid number.
Love this for you.
That's me.
Alright, I'll go next then, I suppose. I'm next on the... My name's Toviyah. I'm 21. I'm from Australia, so I'll probably sound different in every episode. My first Star Trek exposure was through my dad. He's a big fan of Star Trek, and he showed me the original series when I was quite small. And one of my sisters is a huge fan of Star Trek Voyager, so I got more into that when I was a teenager. And they're both still my favorite. I'll never love anything as much as I love the original series. And yeah. My favorite sci-fi other than Star Trek is probably BBC Hitchhikers. Again, it's something I watched as a little kid and grew very attached to and never let go of. Watching it now is a bit of a culture shock, considering that the special effects have considerably aged. But it's really goofy and colourful, so you know.
Yeah, that's part of the charm.
Yeah, it's part of the charm of it all. And I think along the same lines, A Space Odyssey, 2001 A Space Odyssey is my favourite film in the sci-fi genre, because I think it just jump-started a lot of people's sci-fi obsession because it was so gripping and different to everything else that had been out at the time. And I really like it when they walk in the big circle around that ship. I don't know, that just sticks in my mind. And my favorite book ever of all time, and actually the only book ever written, is the Andorians Chronicles. It's called the Chronicles, but it's all in one book. It's like the prequel to the Animorphs series, and it's just spectacular. It doesn't age. It gets better every time you read it. The characters are spectacular. It's a good time.
Sounds good. I've never heard of that before. I should look into it.
It's for free online, available. Not sponsored, but you can. The author
Not
has
sponsored, but you know, you gotta.
The author has released all of her books online for free because she's a socialist queen.
Yes.
So,
Oh, wow.
there you go.
Nice. You want to introduce
know.
yourself, Jinx?
Any of that. All right. Yes, my name is Jinx. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Ohio in America, so I'm your token American host here. My first Star Trek was not TOS, but TNG. Because when I was younger, I would get... Oh, shut up. I love
TOS
data.
Master Race!
But when I was younger in high school, I would get sick and, like, very sick. So, nothing crazy. It was just a little chronic thing. But whenever I was home, nothing would be on TV that I would really even care to watch, except for Sci-Fi was always playing some marathon of TNG, always. And I would watch it, don't remember a thing. I remember watching exactly one of the episodes and just really liking Data. And so that's just what I stuck with for the longest time.
You saw the funny android boy and you were like, yes, this is for me.
Yes, this is food for me.
The gay experience.
And
Yeah.
then then about a year ago, I was just having some depression issues. So I was like, you know what I haven't done in a very long time that I keep seeing on Netflix? I haven't watched Star Trek in so long, and I watched it, and now I'm here.
And it all led up to this moment of us all sitting around with microphones around the world like chumps. Yeah.
But after that, I was never really into sci-fi before this, so it's very hard for me to point out, like, films or TV shows or books that aren't Star Trek. I mean, I do like Red Dwarf now. That was a post-Star Trek getting into thing. And then I enjoyed Galaxy Quest a lot, but that's just also just Star Trek, but not. And,
Yeah.
and then if I had to say a book, I'm going to go into the classics here and maybe just say Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know if that counts, but...
I'd say that counts.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I didn't strike it off the Google Doc, so it counts.
Cool.
Yeah. I was just going to say earlier, we didn't say our pronouns. That might be part of it.
Aye, good idea.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we are a LGBT-themed science fiction podcast.
That would be important.
Yeah, should we list them off? I'm just any pronouns. Primarily she, her, but I don't have a preference, really.
You're like moon self.
Yeah.
Here's a planetary body.
Hello, I'm the moon.
You go beyond.
She, her, they, them, he, them. I don't care. You can use anyone, pretty much. Toby?
My pronouns are he, him. I'm a dude. My pronouns are bro and bro self. I won't accept anything
flex
else.
On knowing
Got
your
it.
gender.
Brosif.
Brosif. Exactly.
And then there's little old me. I like he, him, and they, them. But
Ooh.
I don't care if you accidentally say she, her. It's not a big deal.
Ooh, covers face. So there's this he, they.
Get out. Go on, Io. Go on. Who's your favorite
Okay.
MD?
My favorite Doctor? Well, since I started with TOS, I have a very big soft spot for Bones. I'm a big Spurk shipper, but I've always said I love Spurk, but Bones is the best character in TOS. He's just... You really feel like with him, he's kind of the odd one out in the ship. Everyone seems to have adjusted to the fact that they're in space and they meet aliens and science in fiction is real, but Bones is just kind of like, God, what are we doing today? What's bullshit is going on this? Yeah, he's great. But I do have a big soft spot for Bashir. Bashir is very dear to me as well.
Oh.
Maybe because he's British. I don't know. That might be part
Favoritism.
of it. Why are you British?
The bias is showing.
I love that perspective on McCoy, though, like, that he's the way he is because he hasn't adjusted to being in space yet. I've never thought about it like that, but that is such a good description of his personality and
being
behavior.
From the future.
Everyone else is just totally cool with being in space, and he's like, ugh.
Exactly. That's what makes him endearing.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't have time for this. Just want to do some medicine. I don't have to deal with funny little blue men from space or whatever.
The Andorians.
Shut up about Andorians. Shut up about Andorians.
Someone said little blue men. I am here.
Ears perk up like a dog. But yeah, I would go with McCoy. Yeah. What about you, Toby?
I do have a soft spot for McCoy, but I think the reason he's not my favorite is because I'm a filthy Kinney and I relate to him too much, and saying that he's my favorite feels really self-centered and egotistical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I like him because I feel like at work we would be the two bitching about other people together, so it feels weird to be like, yeah, he's my favorite. But the first one that
You're in the back room with him.
Yeah, I'm in the back room, like, you know, bitching about everyone with Dr. McCoy and Nurse Chapel.
Hell yeah.
That's a dream. Would love that.
That would be the dream scenario. Yeah.
But my favorite Doctor, personal bias aside, would probably be Hugh. You two haven't watched Discovery, have you?
No.
Well, All I can
need
say
to,
is
though.
that he is an absolute angel. He's
Oh,
very handsome, he's very kind, and every time he's on screen, I want him to be there for longer. He's just incredible. I love him a lot. I would drop
every time
everything
he's
for
on screen,
him.
you're like, everything is okay now.
Yes, I have
Hugh is here.
tunnel vision every time he's on screen. Tunnel vision. That's why I would have subtitles on, so that I can pay attention to what's going on. Because it's just, my ears start
I am
ringing.
looking directly at him.
I'm flushed, I fall out of my chair. He's just wonderful. He's great.
Aw.
How about you, Jinx?
All right. Well, we're doubling back. My favorite doctor is also Dr. McCoy.
Yay.
I also really like the whole, like, he's tired of these people. He's tired of this bullshit. He just wants to doctor, and that's fine. And the funny thing about you bringing up he doesn't like space that much is that it's actually brought up a lot in the books that he has, like, almost a phobia of being out in space.
Oh.
And they actually double down on this in AOS too, that he's just like, there's all this shit that can go wrong, and it probably will.
So relatable.
But in
That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
I'm trying to think of the book that I'm thinking of specific. Dreams of the Raven is the name of the book, and he, at the very beginning, he is looking out on this, like, it's kind of like one of those little bubble domes, and he's standing in it, and he's like, I hate this. I hate this. I am so uncomfortable, and I hate this. Because he doesn't like seeing open space.
I would just like to take a moment to list the support hotline for astrophobia. Fear of space is a very real problem.
That's a concept,
space
isn't it?
is scary, bro. I relate.
Space is terrifying.
It is.
It's massive. It's right big and large, as we say up north.
I like it a little better than the ocean, because at least I don't have to worry about some strange creature coming from the depths and trying to eat me.
Yeah.
So I like the just...
That is
you can
exactly
float
how
and just-
space
Well,
works.
at least as far as you know.
That is exactly how space
Yeah.
works. Things come from the depths of space to eat you. It's the same picture.
Listen,
I'm not afraid of the ocean.
I know we're talking about Star Trek right now, but we have no proof of aliens yet.
Yeah. We do have proof of Jinx being a huge weenie for being afraid of the ocean.
I'm not a
Aw.
huge weenie. No, I like the ocean. I
Weenie
just don't
Hut
like
Juniors.
deep
open ocean.
So you're like a regular sized weenie.
Yeah,
You're a bratwurst.
an average, like, 6-inch.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
We might have to cut that.
We don't need to go that specific. Oh goodness. Right.
Oh.
But-
Right. Best Star Trek himbo. If we had to pick favorite himbo.
Best himbos, 10 out of 10.
I love how that's worded. Of course I'm going to say Kirk. Carrying on the TOS theme, I know, but I do care very deeply for Kirk. He's just so lovely. I relate to him a lot. He's got this sort of not TOS Kirk specifically, not AOS Kirk. I mean, I like Chris Pine, but I just don't. I haven't seen all of those films yet either.
They're quite different.
Yeah, they are very distinct. Yeah, that's what I hate when you're like on the internet and you're reading fan
fiction,
of course.
And you
because
get like 5
fan
chapters
fiction.
in.
yeah, and you're reading and it's like Spurk, and then it's suddenly like Kirk's blue eyes, and I'm like,
Like,
Shut
no.
up.
You couldn't have
Have
mentioned
blue
this
eyes.
like 3 chapters ago.
yeah, and you were thinking, I did think he was a bit out of character when he was getting all angry about everything. TOS Kirk doesn't do that, and it's like, these people.
If you just let me know at the
I read
beginning,
a lot
then
of the
it's
ones
fine.
with Bones. I read a lot of the Bones fan fiction, so whenever I run across, his green eyes, or his brown eyes, or his hazel eyes, I'm like, shut up, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
I don't want color, but no! God!
PSA to all fic authors, just let us know from the beginning. Because I'm still...
Just give us a little bit of foresight.
I'm still inclined to read it
I'd
if I like the summary, if it's AOS. I would like to know. so that when I'm picturing it in my
Yeah.
head,
Yeah. Sometimes I will have that situation where I get halfway through an AOS fic where it's Chris Pinekirk, and I will be like, nope, I'm going to brute force Shatner into this.
Sunken cost fallacy. I have to finish this.
In
no
true
more lens
Shatner
flares, I'm gonna-
fashion, you're just going to force him into the picture.
I'm going to force my ideology onto this. Like the SJW I am.
Ooh. Bringing up Shatner hate in the first episode. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Just get it out of the way.
When we weren't even.
See, this
like,
is
how
what we're
long is that
talking
really
about.
gonna last?
Tell them from the beginning. Make sure you're upfront about it.
We got a whole 17 minutes in before we talked about it.
That's got to be some sort of record.
Yeah. Other people want a show. We'll just keep trucking on. So, Toby, favorite himbo?
I wouldn't consider Jim a himbo. Is the concern here, because he is my favorite character, but I don't consider
Himbo
him
discourse.
to be a himbo. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna DST throwdown about what a himbo is. No.
Damn.
You're entitled to your opinion. By my definition of a himbo, Tom Paris is the best. He's my favorite himbo. He embodies the definition of a himbo for me, and he's my problematic fave. I love him.
Problematic fave.
No, I can't say anything though, because you've seen TOS, but I haven't seen Voyager. Because
This is clearly where
a
I'm
weenie
superior over you.
your opinion
I have
has
the higher knowledge.
slightly more grounding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I'm older than you.
I haven't finished it, but
I was born first,
Yeah.
so I automatically have seniority.
I've had more time on the earth.
Yes.
I was born fighting giant spiders and crocodiles. Do you have crocodiles in Australia?
Yes, we do. That is
Okay.
where
Yeah.
we have those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Come on,
even if you consider
Yeah.
Jim to be a himbo, Tom still fits into that. So rest assured, Tom Paris, himbo supreme.
Himbo Supreme.
Yes.
You know what? Each to their own.
yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. What about you, Jinx?
Yeah, I'm coming in left field. I'm bringing in Riker.
Yeah.
I didn't really like him that much when I was first watching
Get out.
TNG, but I didn't. Then he grew on me, and then he does stupid stuff, and he's big. What is he? 6'1", 6'2",
Is he?
and bearded and very pretty.
Big boy.
So I'm like, well, you got that going for you, and then he just does dumb shit. And the one that always sticks out in my mind that I was like, oh, this is an idiot, and I love him, was during the Captain Picard Day episode where he has the little doll of Picard and he's like, number one.
Aww.
And I'm like, oh, there he is.
Yeah. Because for the longest time, I'd seen, like, I was in, like, a Facebook group for Star Trek or something, and I hadn't watched any of TNG yet, and a lot of people were like, oh, Riker's not very good, oh, I don't like him. And then I watched it, and I'm like, I really like him.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful boy.
He really grows on you.
He
like
does.
A fungus. A himbo fungus.
A himbo
himbo
fungus that
fungus.
consumes the brain.
Himbungus.
Yeah, and the fungus grows on you, and then the fungus grows a beard. It's perfect.
Oh dear. And I just googled it, by the way. He is in fact 6'2". That's
Yeah.
that's spectacular. That's 1.9 meters
Huge.
for the
Fake
rest of the world.
news.
I did have to convert that to feet.
Wait, so
Thank
what
you for
height is he?
converting for me.
He's 6'2". He's 1.9 meters.
Oh. 6'2".
I know.
Did you say 6'2" and then I completely missed it because I have a head full of gas?
1.9 meters.
1.9 meters. That's nearly 2
Tall.
meters.
I know, nearly 2 meters. It's
Yeah.
actually 1.91 meters, which is even closer to 2 meters.
I need this discourse again. How come you don't think Kirk's a himbo? He has all the markers of a himbo.
Well, because...
Is it because he's not stupid enough?
Yes, he's not stupid enough. I'm sick of people calling him...
Yeah, I do see that, actually.
He's a very clever man.
Yeah, well, he is he's clever, he's diplomatic, but then there's also the sense that when he fights, he throws his ass at people. He goes bum first.
He's not the only one to do that,
invented
though.
that.
That is a absolutely 100% a fight move that is taught at Starfleet.
Oh yeah,
Chekhov does it. Like, you see other people do it. It's not him being a himbo, I promise.
I'm thinking he invented it.
Maybe he trademarked
sold
it.
on
Maybe he trademarked it. But isn't that just another sign of his absolutely colossal intellect?
He's got business prowess. He knows how to run a business.
Absolutely colossal ass, but sure.
Yes. He's so good at hand-to-hand combat that Starfleet teaches his move to cadets.
He's so good that he brought back money in this socialist utopian universe. Well, let's not get into the politics of Star Trek, but no money. Yet Kirk brought it back to patent throwing his butt at people. Go off, King.
I feel like that's more Starfleet's influence than Jim's there.
Yeah. So, our next question. Favorite alien species? Right.
What was that sound?
Because it allows me to talk about my faves.
Let's get into it. Ugh. So, in favorite alien species in Star Trek, I've gone with Cardassians because I am into Deep Space Nine at the moment. I'm trucking on with Deep Space Nine, and I think they're great. I think they're really interesting. I love the way they look. I love the way they move. I love how interesting they are. They're not one-dimensional. Like, I haven't seen any of the Cardassian TNG episodes, so I don't really know. But in DS9, they are a very interesting race of people. You've got Garrick, you've got Zial, you've got Dukat. I mean, let's not get into it, but he is.
How do you censor a word but out loud?
Exactly. Yeah, they're never boring. That's my point. You're never bored when there's a Cardassian on screen.
Like that.
Unlike with a certain other species in Deep Space Nine, the Bajorans. Now, I love Kira, but why does she have to have so many boring boyfriends? I'm not just saying this as a lesbian.
It's the comp hat.
For God's sake.
This is a lesbian.
It's the comp hat.
I mean...
I think part of the problem with Bajorans is just the overall, like, just in-your-face religious aspect.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that that's almost all that they are, besides, also probably terrorists. Yeah.
We were oppressed for a while, but now we're all free, and we have our planet back, and let's talk about civil war, and, it's fun, but they're not Cardassians,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cardassians, it's like there's intrigue, there's the not the Tal Shiar, that's the wrong one. The Obsidian Order.
The Obsidian Order?
It's the other one.
Yeah.
The other secret order.
Secret evil people.
Yeah.
It's like, you got the Obsidian Order, you got all this stuff about, like, the not democracy. They don't have democracy. What's the word that I want?
Police state?
What is it?
Dictatorship?
Like dictatorship, like the loyalty
Fascism?
to their species and their planet.
Oh yeah, nationalism.
What's that
nationalism,
called?
Maybe?
Yeah, nationalism.
Yeah,
they're nationalists.
Their loyalty to themselves.
I haven't watched.
I find the political intrigue of. Well, now we get to rub it in your face. Ha!
Well, I was gonna say I haven't watched Deep Space Nine, but I did enjoy you struggling to find the right word to describe. The Bajorans there, that was a lot of fun.
I got a whole 2 brain cells working here, and they're working overtime.
They are tossing a ball between each other. They are doing a Chuckle Brothers to me to you right now. Well, that was an epic Britain reference. But yeah, Cardassians, that's my piece.
Yes.
Very nice.
So Toby, Let's give
My
us
favorite
your
alien species.
word.
I've always been a big fan of the Tholians. I just think they're neat.
Mhm.
Tholian Web is one of my favorite TOS episodes. I just think they're neat.
Mhm.
I like the concept of non-humanoid species. I'm always saying, especially with the special effects we have nowadays, give aliens more limbs, more weirdness, and Tholians have been doing that. They've been doing the most since the 60s. They don't even have a form.
They've always been doing it.
They're just stuff. And I think that's really, really legendary of them. I also really like Andorians and Kelpians because I think they come next in that non-humanoid kind of looking. Like they're humanoid, but they don't look like a human with an earring, you know?
Mm-hmm.
One of them's blue. One of them has hooves. Yeah, I like it when they're not human.
Hell yeah. Just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
That's what science fiction's
When
about.
they're just like something else.
It's what something that
You know, just
Yeah.
Like I think it's funny for the Vulcans to be so similar to humans that they can kind of blend in with the society, but you kind of lose that edge when almost every other species can kind of start blending in as well. You know, like if a Klingon gets a fringe, then it's like, well,
Klingon gets a fringe.
just one of those little
Klingon
clip-on
with turf
fringes.
bangs.
Yeah, turf bang Klingon would probably blend in one of those. Whoops, we're in the 20s episodes. You know. See, Andorian, hard to fix the blue. You'd be hard pressed to pass that one off.
Yeah.
Need a lot of foundation.
A lot of
whole lot.
foundation, very much.
Yeah. A lot of colour correction as well. Like
Yeah.
when guys do drag and they have to put orange foundation all over their like stubble. That would be your whole body.
Exactly,
If you're
it would be a
Andorian.
real
Face is
struggle.
orange.
Also the antenna. Did we not? That's a big part of it. Just wear a top hat. Just
Just pop him in a
Top hat.
hat. Yeah, I suppose they could go in a hat. But like Betazoid,
Yeah.
that's a human. That's just a human.
Yeah.
That's just a human.
Yeah.
Romulans
But
kind
Jorans
of...
would do great these days where you're having to wear masks.
Yes.
Yeah. Cover your
They'd be
nose. Well,
They'd be
it's
perfect.
the bridge of your nose. Just do what Kira does in that one episode and wear like a little bandage.
Exactly. You
Oh,
could
yeah,
just
yeah. I forgot she did
Yeah.
that.
pop a little something over it. And, you
Yeah.
know, it's...
Easy peasy.
And Vulcans, Romulans, they're all... Romulans have that kind of forehead thing going on
Yeah.
on occasion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Give
in
them,
TNG.
But again-
a nice beanie.
clip-on fringe,
Meanie.
you're all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shave the weird eyebrows off. Although you get away with those eyebrows in this year.
You'd get away with that
Oh,
today.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I
You'd-
saw someone with pointed ears, I probably wouldn't even think anything of it. I'd just be like, "Oh, they got that cool surgery thing that you can do."
Truly. So the
Yeah.
harder it is for an
Oh.
alien to pass in like the 1950s Earth, that's the more I like that alien design.
Yeah.
Just like gay people.
Exactly, just like gay people.
Just like Star Trek aliens, we would struggle to pass in 1950s Earth.
Well, I mean, speak for yourself. But...
Yeah. I'd be Dapper Dan. I don't know what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you, Jinx?
It's Andorians.
Wow,
If
really?
you guys couldn't guess from me talking
Good Lord,
earlier,
no way.
it's Andorians.
Yeah.
it did used to be Romulans. I'm gonna say that much at least. But I watched exactly one episode of Enterprise that had Andorians in it, specifically Shran, and I was like, "This is interesting. Show me more." And I kept looking into them, and I'm just like, "These are so cool. Why don't they use more Andorians in the show?"
Unfortunately, Enterprise is about the extent of Andorians that we really get into.
I know.
Yeah.
I got so excited with, I don't know, well, this isn't coming out for a while. Lower Deck spoilers for episode 2. They had an Andorian bar, and I was like, yes, more of this, please.
One of each, please.
Like, 20 more of these little blue bitches, please.
Exactly. Yes. Oh,
Well,
Absolutely.
here's hoping for more Andorians in the future.
Here, here.
We had one
in the
in
future.
Discovery, like a background Andorian. Again, that's
Yeah.
not a spoiler
Yeah.
because he's literally just vibing in the background.
That's me. I'm that Andorian.
Yeah. And there's like there's Andorian ambassadors and, well, of course in TOS.
Oh, I
and
love
then
that Andorian.
I think in Deep Space Nine as well.
I do
I love
too.
that guy.
He looks so funny. That's in the one with Sarek, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
I forgot the
Jackson
name of the
Journey to
episode.
Babel, yeah.
Yes, Journey's. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Love
Oh,
it.
60s hair and makeup, and costumes. I love you.
I loved those wigs. They looked
Yeah.
like they just tore out a pillow and put it on his head. It's really good.
It really does look
You,
like
you
that.
sometimes wonder what has become of all those costumes from
I
50 plus years ago.
don't know, but I want it. I want them.
I will dig up whatever landfill it takes.
They were probably
And-
burned for being unusable.
Yeah. They probably collapsed as soon as the actors took them off, considering how cheap the costumes are in the original
They
series.
just fell apart.
Right? Yeah.
Instantly dissolved.
And I would like to
Hey, there's probably some stuff out there.
chime in and let everyone know that Andorian ambassador in the original series, his name is Shras, which
Shras.
to the untrained ear, Shras.
Shraz.
Shras.
Love that fella. But yeah, he's one funky
Oh.
dude.
King. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like we've almost said what our hopes for Strange New Worlds are already without explicitly saying it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We really have, haven't we?
Yeah.
With our
but-
Discord. But like, I mean, I feel like I don't have the same stance about it because I haven't seen Discovery yet, so I don't know Pike and Number One and Spock of this version as well. But speaking as a TOS fan, it does look like it's going to be really cool. And I would like to see some of the TOS characters, but I don't really want it to just be as a gimmick, you know?
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree with that. I
Yeah.
think it would be nice to see them as a cameo almost. It would be nice to have, someone mention them in passing, or a character is introduced in one episode as a side character never seen again, as opposed to it just ending up being the original series but 10 years earlier, or whatever time they set it in. But if they don't mention
Yeah.
those characters, I know I'm going to get upset, so I hope they get
Yeah.
just a little...
We want them to be mentioned, but not like
just
the,
mentioned.
the complete focus.
yeah.
Just mentioned.
Yeah, I want to see Kirk. I think it would be quite cool for Kirk to be introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
I
just
think
saying
they
that
could.
as a fan of Spock, but I think they could do something quite interesting with it to show his transition, to show the Enterprise's transition from Pike to Kirk, because that's something
Yeah.
people have been talking about for years and years and years. Something everyone's always wanted to know.
Not to be un homosexual, but me too. I think especially once they know how many seasons they're going to get, that would be a good
Yes.
closing.
That would be an excellent way to
To
wrap
it.
it up.
Oh, yeah.
Pike and Number One and Spock have all their adventures, but then that would be a great way to bring it to a close.
I would genuinely... First off, I'd really like to know who they're going to cast as the other characters. If they're going to keep the same characters that they had in The Cage, or if they're going to kind of go off track a little bit and, yeah, kind of mention some of those characters, but, and I'd just like to know who they're actually going to cast. I just want to know who's playing that doctor, because...
Dr. Boyce?
Yes.
I must prepare myself to slobber over this man.
It's like, if he doesn't look Dilfy or Gilfy, I don't want him.
There's really only a few crew members that you actually see in The Cage as well. Like there's Lieutenant Tyler, there's the young yeoman Colt, I believe. There's like a geologist
Ooh.
fella, and then of course Pike, Dr.
And
Boyce,
Spock.
Number One. I think there's an Orion at one point, but I don't remember if he's part of the crew or if he's
There's
Part of the
definitely
cage
in
part.
the menagerie when Pike ends up in the cage. I haven't watched the menagerie for a while. I don't even know I don't even know if that's how menagerie is pronounced, really. But the woman he goes in with is like transformed into an Orion at one point.
Vina. That's
Oh,
true.
okay.
I think there's
Yeah,
a male
yeah.
Orion, though, if I remember correctly. Not to obsess over 2 very old episodes. And then, of course, there's the Telosians. I think it would be interesting to get more of a perspective on the Telosians in terms of not knowing a species. Between Enterprise and the original series, there's not a lot of follow-up between knowing 0 races that are out there and knowing a good circle of Federation space. So I think it would be interesting to have more of that learned exploration. Whereas Enterprise has, they're just going. They don't know where they're going. And then by the time we get to TOS, they've got space stations established. They know a lot of the surrounding area. Even if they don't know a particular planet, they know what's close. I think Strange New Worlds will hopefully have more of that exploration into the
bridging
unknown
that gap
sense.
as well.
Yeah, without being able to say, oh, well, there's a space station, an hour in that direction. Maybe they could say, well, there's a space station being built in that direction, but, we can't just run there for help if we need it.
Who knows?
Along the lines of Enterprise, not to beat this dead horse, but I would like those characters to be referenced.
Oh my
in
gosh.
Strange New Worlds. Maybe not in a living sense, here's ye olde Archer, but in the sense that they are very close to that time frame. They do mention Admiral Archer in AOS.
Yeah.
Very briefly. So I think it would be nice to have that sort of that relationship with Archer and, him being a prominent figure in Star Trek.
Yeah.
They
He's
also
still alive
mention
at this
him
time.
in they don't mention him, but his name's on screen in Disco as well.
Get Scotty B on the scene, absolute legend. Get that bubble butt over here. Ugh.
If he's in it, I think I would genuinely just lay down and die. I think that would be it for me.
When you said references to things from Enterprise, I thought of Hoshi, and the first thing I thought of was 2 words: Tarsus 4.
I think that
we want to know what
happened
happened on that planet. Like, that could be a whole thing on its own. Is this a bit vague? Should we explain what we mean by Tarsus 4? Brief history of Tarsus 4.
Brief history of Tarsus 4.
Mentioned very briefly in the episode Conscience of the King in TOS.
There was a Federation colony there, and a fungus that is unique to this planet destroyed most of their food supply. So the governor, Kodos, instead of, weighing his options, ordered the deaths of half of the colonists to save the other half, about 4,000. And he did select people to be killed.
So unlike Thanos, his own personal system of eugenics. And this is one TOS episode, and Tarsus 4 is mentioned, like Hoshi ends up dying on that planet as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But the point is, this was when this is confirmed to happen when Kirk was like 13 or something. So this
he
would
was
be
young.
Some really horrible event in his life that never gets mentioned. It gets mentioned in like one Shatner book, but other than that, nothing in the show. And I really think it deserves a bit more time.
We don't know yet if they're going in the Discovery direction or in the Lower Decks direction, or if they're going to try to find somewhere in between. But if they are going to have that tone that allows for more serious episodes, I think Tarsus
a good plot point to pick up again.
If they're going to mention colonies, there's one.
A lot of fans would be very happy to hear about. We are approaching the end, so I think this is a good place to wrap up. Now that we've introduced ourselves, we've given our thoughts and feelings on various topics. Yeah. Hopefully many more to follow if we can ever properly arrange meeting up with our vastly different time zones. Hopefully we'll have many more. So this is Out of Orbit. I'm Io.
I'm Jinx.
And I'm Toviyah.
And thank you for listening. And we'll see you again at some point on Out of Orbit.
prosper.